You've just been bitten by a golden lancehead viper. Within an hour, you're gonna die. You need medical attention, but you're all alone in the dark forests of Snake Island.
Welcome to the island where the real rulers aren't humans. I'm talking about none other than Ilha de Queimada Grande, also known as Snake Island.
Hi, from the many beautiful islands in the world, scary stories emerge about places that humans should not visit. And among these islands, Snake Island in Brazil stands out as a symbol of danger and mystery involving thousands of poisonous snakes.
It's hell on earth, as this island is home to some of the deadliest snakes ever, with nothing around to control their population. But how did this happen? And why can't humans remove them now? Keep watching this video to find out. Number 1. A hell on earth. Situated 33 kilometers off the coast of Sao Paulo, Brazil, Ilha da Queimada Grande is a forbidden serpent paradise. It was formed nearly 11,000 years back due to rising sea levels that caused it to break off and drift away from the mainland. It's roughly 103 acres big and is home to the densest snake population in the world, with around 1 snake per 1 square meter in some parts of the island. But just how many snakes live on this dangerous island? Well, experts believe there are no more than 4,000 snakes here, but that's not what the locals say. They think the population easily surpasses 400,000. Just imagine that for a second, trapped on an island with over 400,000 slithery beasts. And not just any beasts. These bad boys are all venomous. The alarming bit is how their population is expected to keep growing forever, since there's no predator around to hunt them.
Characters on Snake Island is the golden lancehead, a Bothrops insularis snake, which is known as the most venomous and deadliest snake on this island.
And because of the abundant resources, snakes don't have to compete a lot for food. But what snake is it? And is it found anywhere else in the world? It's the golden lancehead viper, which is unique to the island and happens to be one of the most venomous snakes in the world. Just one bite from this slithery boy is enough to melt human skin. Yes, you heard that right. If a golden lancehead ever bites you, it's not just going to sting. It's not going to melt your skin off. And that, my friends, is one of the reasons why no one has ever attempted to remove these snakes from the island. Oh, and the fact that the Brazilian government has full control of it doesn't help either. It's very rare that they let visitors or researchers explore the island, and rightly so. I'm sure they don't want anything bad happening, but there must be a way to rid the island of these venomous monsters, or at least control their population, right? Well, like I mentioned before, the only way to take back the island would be a full-scale operation, and that's not possible because of the limited access. It's best to just leave this island alone. I mean, on one hand, it's like a natural wonder of the world, and on the other hand, this is a reminder that we're not the only ones capable of dominating an entire island. A little about the golden lancehead before we move forward though. Did you know just one bite can result in kidney failure, internal bleeding, and tissue death? I guess that's also one of the reasons why no one to clear out the island. Number 2. Wild horses of the mythical Sable Island. Sable Island might not be as dangerous as Ilha de Queimada, but it's definitely one for the book. Believe it or not, it's still untouched by time, as the only species ruling it are wild horses. Yep, you heard that right. Sable Island is dominated by around 500 wild horses, who've managed to adapt to the harsh Atlantic winds, surviving off the scarce resources. I mean, just imagine setting foot on this island and seeing so many horses all at one place, living in harmony and peace. But how did this even happen? Snakes I get, but horses? Well, these gorgeous wild horses are the descendants of animals left by early settlers or shipwreck survivors back in the 18th century. Oh, and a little about the island. Did you know it's super notorious in the history books? It's estimated that this Sable Island has witnessed at least 350 shipwrecks since the 16th century. And like I was saying before, all this is because of the harsh Atlantic weather. Storms, scary waves, and terrifying winds often blast the island, making it a living hell for humans, but a peaceful sanctuary for these horses. It's not that big though. It's only a mile wide but stretches about 26 miles long. Perfect for these adorable horses though, who probably can't get enough of running up and down the island. So yeah, it's not always bad. I mean, things could be much worse. And compared to an island with nothing but snakes, I'm picking horses every single time. But what if I told you there's an island out there that is even more plagued and dangerous? Would you believe me? Komodo Island, Indonesia. Video. Welcome to Komodo Island, folk, the land of the dragon. Despite being plagued by these prehistoric beasts, Komodo Island still remains one of the top tourist destinations in the world. And I don't think I need to tell you why. Just look at the beautiful visual. This is probably what paradise looks like. There's just one catch though: dragons, and a whole lot of them. And here's a crazy fact. The total global population of these giants is around 3,500. And guess how many live here on Komodo Island? Around 2,500. Yep, you heard that right. There are a ton of other animals here as well, but they're usually on the menu as these dragons spare nothing in their path. First-time visitors are advised to hire a guide as well. And truth be told, the guide's job isn't really to show you around the island. It's to make sure you don't run into these behemoths while you're exploring the island. Just one bite from a Komodo is enough to melt human skin, eventually decomposing meat as well. That's just terrifying. But unlike Snake or Sable Island, Komodo Island is actually a national park that's meant to be a sanctuary for these dragons to ensure their survival. Oh, and because there are visitors coming in regularly, the island has a dark history as well. Over the span of 38 years, there have been 24 attacks, with 5 of them being fatal. Nevertheless, if Komodo Island was on your to-go list, just make sure you stick close to the rangers and let them do their thing if you run into one of these bad boys during your visit. So, what do you think? Are you brave enough to walk with these dragons? Number 4. Christmas Island, Australia. For an island literally infested with red crabs, I find it strange how it's named Christmas Island. And I'm not just talking about hundreds or thousands of crabs, I'm talking million, 50 million to be exact. It happens every year sometime in October, as 50 million of these little critters begin their dangerous journey from the forest to the sea. Believe it or not, the migration is synchronized with the lunar cycle, ensuring the crabs reach the ocean just in time to release their eggs in the high tide. It's one of the most fascinating yet bizarre things ever.
We are at a really important part of the migration for the red crab.
But I wouldn't exactly say the red crabs have conquered the island, since their major objective is to get off it. And because these tiny critters are pretty much harmless, the locals do a lot to make sure they get to the ocean safely. Roads are closed, bridges are erected, and even barriers are put in place so these baby crabs can safely make it to their destination. It still sucks how a lot of them don't, with a lot of them falling victim to vehicles or other tragedies, but that's the only time that happens, because once these majestic creatures mature, their hard shell offers them enough protection to fend off the worst of predators. As for the island itself, it isn't that big. It's just 12 miles long and 9 miles wide, with an elevation of 361 meters above sea level. Definitely worth going though, since you won't really be worried about a literal 10-foot dragon creeping up on you at any given time. Neither will you have to be wary of a venomous bite by one of the deadliest snakes in the world. Number 5. Kba. Welcome to the funniest and perhaps most unique spot in the Bahamas. While it's officially called Big Major K, it's famous for something so bizarre you'll be left scratching your head. Pig, and not just any ordinary pigs. I'm talking about swimming pig. It's probably the strangest experience ever. I mean, you're swimming in clear blue waters when, all of a sudden, a group of pigs just floats by you. But it doesn't make any sense, right? Pigs in the Bahamas? How did this even happen? Well, there's a cute story of how a sailor left these piggies here on the island, promising to come back for them, but never did. And what's nuts is how these pigs aren't even shy. They'll swim right up to you and poke you with their cute snouts, practically begging you for treats. The more I look at them, the more I feel it's actually these guys who are living the life, spending all day at the beach, floating around in the water, soaking in the sun, while strangers come and feed you snacks. This is indeed Pig Island, with these cute animals living in their own little paradise. Number 6, taken over by cats. Meet the cat lover's heaven. Aoshima Island, the only place in the world where cats outnumber humans. Yep. It's estimated that the island is inhabited by around 10 to 15 humans, while the population of cats is well above 100. How cool is that though? I don't know about you, but I'd love to go here and spend the entire day just petting the adorable feline. It all started after some locals brought cats to the island to battle a rat infestation.
Cats do as they please, but we can't do that, she said, referring to her regimented life.
The rats clearly didn't make it, but the cats multiplied and now rule the island, spending their time lounging wherever they want. Believe it or not, there's even a shrine on the island where tourists often leave gifts and snacks for these cute cats in exchange for good luck. On a side note, even though there are over 100 cats, I'm sure there's an old lady here who knows all their names. Isn't Aoshima Island the most perfect place on the planet? Number 7. Phillip Island, Australia. Located just off the coast of Rockingham in Western Australia, this island is a small yet wholesome destination, especially if you're a fan of penguins. It's the most adorable plague in the world, as Phillip Island is the home to around 1,200 little penguins. And not just any penguins, folks, the smallest in the entire world, also known as fairy penguins. These things are tiny, standing tall at just 16 inches, and often weighing less than a kilogram. There was no sign of them before the 1950s, until some of them managed to make it to the island and start inhabiting. Despite some serious conservation efforts, their population still remains endangered, as Phillip Island is the only place on this planet with these penguins. Number 8, Seal Island, 75,000. That's how many seals you can expect to find on the island at any given time. It's seal galore, as there's a flubbery-capped animal dominates Seal Island, located off the coast of Simonstown in South Africa. And I know you're thinking I'm about to hit you with something cute, but that's not going to happen this time. It might be dominated by seals, but there's something else lurking in the water. Great white sharks. The waters around Seal Island are absolutely notorious for shark activity, as there's always a bloodbath going on. But these seals aren't just going to hang around either. They know they have the numbers, and in some cases, they lead an offense against the great whites. Seal Island is open for tourism, but I wouldn't exactly recommend it, because going there isn't exactly a nice, quiet ferry ride. Number 9, Turtle Island. I'm sure you've heard of Seychelles, a beautiful country in East Africa. Known for its beautiful islands, Seychelles is the perfect getaway if you're looking for a nice, relaxing time. But just watch out for the giant tortoise. They're super gentle, but I'll be honest, it looks like a scene out of Jurassic Park film. Just watch how they're creeping up on these tourists looking for some food. These gentle giants spend their entire day just roaming around on the island, getting fed all sorts of different snacks by locals and visitors.
We still have this fantastic, unique ecosystem available for everyone to see and learn from today.
There are about 150,000 of these giant Aldabra tortoises inhabiting the island, and that's super impressive. It's crazy how these things can live up to 100 years, weighing around 250 kilograms at their peak. I swear it feels like you're stepping into a prehistoric world, as the majority of these beasts have been around for centuries. But yeah, they're docile and don't really care what you do, so you should definitely add island to your bucket list. Number 10, Kangaroo Island. What happens when you bring some kangaroos to an unchecked island? Well, you get 50,000 of these jumpy boys always hopping around looking for some trouble. And like most of the islands we've discussed so far in this video, the kangaroo population is way higher than the human. It's like living under oppression, to be honest. You always gotta be on the lookout for them since they love a good brawl. If they're not fighting each other, they're usually just busy harassing tourists for food. And trust me when I tell you this, when a kangaroo comes over to you for food, you better feed it. These guys might not be all big, but they're strong and can throw some crazy punches. But considering how kangaroos aren't even native to this island, how did it all start? I mean, I get the fact that there's no predator there, but 50,000? Well, you can blame early settlers for those who decided to bring along some kangaroos with them. Also, did you know a bunch of kangaroos is called a mob? Makes sense. I'm sure there have been quite a lot of mobbings on this island. Number 11, Lamu Island. I don't know what's a better name for this place. Lamu Island or Donkey Island. There's an estimated 3,000 donkeys here being used for pretty much everything. Need to go somewhere? Hire a donkey. Want to transport something? Hire a donkey. And what's interesting is donkeys aren't exactly native to Lamu. They were actually brought here by Arab traders a couple of centuries ago. But unlike most places in the world, donkeys aren't just beasts of burden here. They're loved, well taken care of, and considered an integral part of the culture. Lamu is pretty much known for its donkeys, as they're the most visible and beloved features of the island. Oh, and the fact that there are no cars means donkeys are actually a symbol of high status here. Only the wealthy and affluent own them, while everyone else just walks everywhere. Number 12, Sheep Country. Forget about just an island. What if I told you there's an entire country dominated by just one animal? Yes, a country where there's an estimated 6 sheep per one person. Welcome to New Zealand, folks. Or should I call it sheep country? Believe it or not, there are nearly 26 million sheep in New Zealand, making it the most dominant species there. I bet the Kiwis feel really happy. It is sheep, and not something like snakes or spiders. And if you thought 6 sheep per one person is a high number, wait till you hear this. That number is much below 1982's historic high of an astonishing 22 sheep per person. Crazy, but why are there so many sheep here? Well, there was a time when sheep farming was actually the backbone of New Zealand's economy. It still plays a huge role, of course, but nowhere near as it once was. I mean, people literally set world records with one person shearing a crazy 11,000 sheep in just one day. Number 13, Kba Island. If you were planning a trip to Kba Island, I'd advise you to cancel it immediately. Things are really bad. People are robbed and harassed, with all their belongings stolen in broad daylight. Local authorities are pretty much helpless as they attempt to battle the ongoing crisis. There's not even enough jails in the country to contain these barbaric beasts. Oh, And by the way, I'm talking about monkey. They're known to steal things like expensive sunglasses, bags, and even smartphone. And that's mainly because they're no longer shy. Every time they see a tourist or visitor walking the beach, they rush down knowing they're about to get fed. And trust me, feed them whatever you have cause if you don't. They waste no time in becoming aggressive. The exact number of these monkeys remains unknown, but if I had to guess, it's probably in the thousands. Oh, and here's a word of advice. Never, and I mean never, try to taunt the monkey. These guys attack in colonies and can literally rip the hair out of your head. Number 14, fluffiest place on the planet. This is probably the most peaceful place on the planet. I could spend days or even weeks just looking at these fluffy foxes going about their day. There are over 100 foxes here, and not just of one species either. If you ever go to the Zhao Fox Village, expect to see the red fox, silver fox, Arctic fox, and even platinum foxes as well. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even know there were that many species. Now, it's not the island that's actually dominated by the foxes. It's more of a zoo or sanctuary. It was established back in 1990 and remains one of the most popular tourist attractions in the entire country. And because these foxes always have regular visitors, they've become accustomed and are somewhat tamed and curious. But these foxes didn't just end up here. They were actually brought here from different villages with just one goal in mind: conservation. Number 15, coconut crabs. I don't know about you, but I always get a little hungry when I think of crabs. Not when it's the coconut crab though. The sheer size of these things is enough to scare anyone. And one or two is okay. I can learn to appreciate them. But an entire island dominated by this massive creature. Now that's just frightening. The exact number of these robber crabs is unknown.
Dulu tuh saya anggap penjual. Kepala keras orang bicara. Tapi ke depan kita mengerti, ya. Kalau dia besar begini jarang macam kita berat tapi mana.
But some locals estimate there to be at least 1,000 of them terrorizing the island. Why do I say that though? Well, think of it this way. This isn't just an ordinary crab. If this ever freaks out, it has enough power to snap bone. I mean, there's a reason they're called coconut crab. They can climb up trees with ease and snap coconuts in half with their powerful claw. And if you're still stuck on their size, how do you feel knowing an adult crab can grow up to 1 meter long and weigh more than 9 pounds? But don't worry, they're docile and don't really bother with humans. And I don't blame them either. Number 16, Shark Island. Forget infested island. I'm about to kick it up a notch. This footage was captured in the waters around Kba Island, Costa Rica. If you're into marine animals, this is the place to be. Just be careful of the hammerheads though. There are at least 1,000 of them there at any given time, feeding on the diverse marine life the Costa Rican waters have to offer. And I'm not going to lie, seeing a shark while being in the water is probably one of my biggest fears. But watching his footage makes me so jealous. It must have been a once-in-a-lifetime experience seeing so many sharks all gathered at the same place. And not just hammerhead. No sir, while they may be the dominant species there, you can expect to see both tiger and silky sharks present in large numbers. But yeah, just look at the biodiversity here. It's absolutely insane. And this just makes me wonder about the seal island we discussed earlier. The waters around that island were infested with great whites. That is probably a whole different ballgame. Nevertheless, don't these fascinating beasts sway you? The island itself is worth visiting. Number 17, Kba's macaws. Kba Island People, one of the most beautiful places in Panama. It's a lush green paradise that's untouched by time and human. It's like visiting a different planet. No hustle or bustle, no big buildings, no cars, just serenity. And a whole lot of parrots. Scarlet macaws in particular.
Receive essential training in tree climbing and wildlife data collection. Tools for applying future conservation strategies. Beyond monitoring, the expedition fosters community involvement in conservation, vital for preserving our natural heritage.
There are 1,000 of these magnificent flying jewels gracing the sky of Kba Island. The best part is how these animals aren't even native to the island. They were probably drawn to it by the greenery and abundant food sources, and most likely migrated here to live a life of peace and isolation. Trust me, it's the best thing they could have done, since they're pretty much the ruling class here, with their population flourishing in the thousands. Locals and tourists can't get enough of these beautiful birds, as it's one of the most popular spotting destinations in the world. Plus, They are known to live up to 50 years in the wild, and as more conservation efforts are underway, the population is expected to rise even more, with the island on its way to becoming the capital of macaw. Number 18, Yasawa Island. Where would Batman live if Gotham wasn't a city? Any guesses? Fiji. Yasawa Island, in particular, is home to the outrageously large fruit bats. These bats are the biggest in the world, growing up to nearly 1.5 meters long. There are around 10,000 of them on the island, and it's a sight to behold. You can see them resting during the day, hanging upside down off trees, and in the night, absolute savages. They're ravaging, snacking on pretty much anything they can find. Teen, Okinoshima Island. Video. With no known predators present on the island, rabbits flourish here in the thousands on Okinoshima Island. Just check them out, swarming this tourist in search of a snack. I wouldn't even call it swarming. That's harassment right there. Believe it or not, no one knows how they got here. Some locals believe they were released by some children just before the war and managed to survive and ultimately multiply in population. But hey, that's what rabbits know best, right? Funny how a secret military base turned into a rabbit paradise, though. And did you know there's nothing for the rabbits to feed on Okinoshima? Everything is provided by the locals who live here. And why wouldn't it be? I mean, if I lived here, these rabbits would practically be family for me, and I'd probably give them all my food as well. Just look at them. How cute. That's it from our side, folks. So, what do you think? Did you know there are so many islands in the world conquered by animals? And have you ever visited any of them? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more interesting videos in the future. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.